Alright. Hello, society. It was inevitable that I was going to be talking about Mr. Goldlewis Dickinson, as he is the recent talk of the town since he's announced for the first DLC character of Guilty Gear Strive. Goldlewis has a cult following, or a cult hating, and I personally do not like Goldlewis. He's just not a character for me. However, I will try to be as objective as possible in this character design video. This is going to be a half rant, half character design. So, Goldlewis Dickinson is the senator? He's the something of absolute defense in the United States of America in the Guilty Gear world. He's not real. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that to you guys, but he's not real. Goldlewis Dickinson is he's a big guy. He doesn't believe in aliens, or maybe he does believe in aliens, but the idea is, you know, Area 51, he wants the people to not believe in aliens. He's got an alien in the coffin, you know, but he says it's just a cryptid. He says he's just a collector of cryptids, or even just a collector in general. It's not an alien, guys. Don't worry. The government isn't lying to you. We would never do that. Now pay your taxes. Anyway, I want to just go off. The reasons I don't like Goldlewis is I don't like characters that have to do with, like, oh, the United States government. I just don't really like that. I know Giovanna is a Secret Service agent, but that's a little different from somebody who can, like, directly affect. Like, it's just, I don't know. Something about having a senator or a secretary, or even, like, a general, is just very boring to me. And I just don't like it personally. It's just not something that interests me. Most characters are typically very bland, very samey, very lawful good and no nonsense, you know. All of that. And Goldlewis definitely appears to be a character who would be like, howdy partner, I'm the lawful good, no-nonsense character. We're gonna be completely serious about it, and, you know, God bless America and Texas. That's kind of the idea of Goldlewis Dickinson. Now, I know he's, you know, crazy. He's a little more interesting than some other characters. Yeah, I'll say it. Goldlewis is pretty interesting. He's a gear character, alright? Gear characters are typically pretty interesting. The fact that he's like this weird big guy who's like really warm and friendly, but also like really like serious and stoic even. But is also like crazy, like alien. Don't be crazy. This is just Jello. There's just Jello in this coffin. Does that look like an alien arm to you? No, that's just Jello. I put some glitter in it. That's a sparkle. That's just Jello, baby. Like, yeah. You know, that's kind of the idea. Let's break down the character design. So the coffin is the clear, obvious part. The coffin holds the alien, or the Jello, or the cryptid, whatever he wants you to believe in. It has a pretty cool design. It's got the whole Area 51 thing. It's pretty metal. It's pretty gear designed, you know? A coffin can't be a coffin without a meat tenderizer on the top, a bunch of rings for no reason, and a lot of signs plastered onto it just to look cool. It's a cool weapon. He's got it on a chain, and yeah, that's about that. Everyone can agree Goldlewis has an interesting weapon, but a weapon doesn't make a character interesting. Moving on to the man himself. He is he looks like what I think a senator thinks a cowboy would be like. And as someone who is a huge fan of cowboys and the Wild West genre and aesthetic, this is massively insulting to me. Because you work in the government. You are not a cowboy. Take that shit off, motherfucker. He has, you know, he's got his, like, Wild West cowboy pants. The very, like, normal, like, my riding chaps. He's got that on. He's got the bull belt buckle. He's got the horseshoe glove things, like, on the top of the gloves. I don't know what they're exactly called. And then he's got the color scheme with the brown and the tan and the dark blue. And, you know, yellow for the tie to, you know, tie it all together. Do you think that was intentional? Yes. Because the yellow actually brings together the shades of beige and, or like the tan / beige and the dark brown. You get it, right? You get it. Okay, I think you get it at this point. But he is a cowboy. If a cowboy was actually just a government worker. I don't particularly like that, but I do understand what the idea is. I believe his original conception was somewhat of a sheriff design. He does look like a sheriff, though I don't think, you know, the tie's a little much, but that comes in the government working. He does resemble a sheriff in some way, though the tech that he has kind of clashes with that. And not in a good way. Like, cyber cowboys can be really cool, but this, it's a little too not cyber, not cowboy. It's kind of in, like, the middle of the spectrum for both. It doesn't vibe with me, but I can understand why people like it. His glasses, by the way, his glasses are pretty cool. It's got a little kissy mark on it. It's his laser thing. He shoots a laser out of it. I don't know if it's an eye patch or not, technically. We don't know if he doesn't have an eye behind it, or if he just chooses to have it like that, like have it closed. Maybe he's not even closed. Maybe he can see through it. Maybe there's like a camera lens on the other side, and he can get like a real life video game HUD in one eye, like Google Glasses or something. I don't know. You never know. Anyway, there's just not a lot for me to talk about Goldlewis. You know, that's kind of the idea. That's why I just don't like him. He's just a cowboy if a cowboy worked in the government, or a sheriff if a sheriff worked in the government. His weapon's cool. I do like the little, like the funny gimmick of him being like, "It's not an alien. What are you talking about, partner?" But he doesn't say partner. He doesn't have a Texas accent, or he doesn't have like a Western accent. And that brings me to the next part of Goldlewis. What the fuck is he? He doesn't have a personality. Like, he looks like he has a personality. Like, when I said earlier he was like a warm and nice person, but stoic and serious, that was really not his personality. That was the personality that I see with the fan art. That's the personality he looks like he has. The personality he has in the story mode is very, very no nonsense, blah blah blah, let's do this for the government, for the president. Alright, I'm gonna sit here and do nothing, or I'm gonna throw up my shield one time, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do nothing for the rest of the thing, and then at the end I'm gonna be eating a burger, and that's my major personality trait, is the fact that I like burger. And Rant did that joke already. Like, yeah, okay, we're gonna have this guy who's just doing the burger joke again, and it's annoying because at least Rant had an entire fucking like character arc, and that was really a pretty important part of it. And then he's just like, I like burgers because I'm an American. It's really boring and bland and expected, obvious. It's just really nothing to me. But I mean, there's a lot you can say about him. He kind of looks like Birdie from Street Fighter, but just with a suit and tie. Except I don't feel like that's a fair comparison, because Birdie is just really fucking ugly and boring and uninteresting. At least Goldlewis has details to him. At least he has the little horseshoe gloves and the bull belt buckle and the sheriff style outfit, the coffin, the pompadour, the cool glasses. Like, Goldlewis has a lot going for him. It's just not things that I think work together. But that's, you know, personal. That's just something that personally doesn't work for me. Is Goldlewis Dickinson a bad design? No. Is it an okay design? I don't know. I am willing to say, like, no bias aside, it's alright. I won't say it's good. I'll say it's alright. As non-biased as I can be, but of course I'm still like a little biased because you can't not be biased. It's alright. I think it's alright. Now my personal, completely subjective, completely Luna opinion is I don't like it. It's kind of weak. I think it's the weakest one in the Strive roster so far, easily. And the non-biased, I think it's the weakest one in the Strive roster. Not as easily, I guess, since I'm putting it a little higher, but Lewis, you know, yeah, there's just not a lot to say about him to me. That's really all I have. Like, I've never been so dead-ended on a character before, because I just don't have a lot to say about him. It's just, I don't know. I like projecting ideas onto him. I like seeing the community project ideas onto him. I like seeing fan art of him eating burgers with Ramlethal. I like the little joke I did where it's like, oh, you think this is an alien? No, there's just Jello in here. I like that thing. But that's not who he is, right? That's not what the character actually is. That's what we like to imagine the character as. And if that was actually just his character, yeah, I'd like him a little more. He'd be a little more goofy. But as it stands, he's just kind of basic. He's just kind of boring. He's just kind of a guy who has like 2 quirks: burger and it's not an alien. But he doesn't even make that many jokes about the fact that it's not like the Jello. He just calls it a cryptid. Call it something. Be funnier. Say something else. I don't know. Whatever. He lies to the people because he works for the government. So, yeah, I don't know. What is my actual, real, genuine reason for not liking goldlewis Dickinson? Well, he's not Elfelt. Well, I mean, honestly, he's an archetype that I don't particularly enjoy, and he doesn't, he's not too far into the extremes of his aesthetics. He's too far in the middle to where it's too safe and too uninteresting. I said something earlier about cyber cowboys, a cowboy with a lot of tech. Those are 2 very, very opposite sides, and when you blend them together, it can look really cool. Goldlewis isn't very cyberized, but he has technology. He has drones, he has laser eye, he has a coffin that turns into minigun, or I think the alien just pulls it out actually, but you know, he's got an alien in the coffin. It's very, very low on the tech kind of cyber side, and then on the cowboy side, he's like a government worker who just has the sheriff color schemes of Old West, so that's very low on the cowboy spectrum. So those 2 things are just closer to one another, and that means it's less. It just has less bite. It has less flair. It has less oomph to it. You know, at least to me. Now I understand, you know, why people like it. goldlewis isn't a bad design. Even in my most biased form, even when I think about how I wanted Elfelt, and my personal wishes should make it into Strife for everyone else. Because whatever. Even with all of that, goldlewis is not a bad design. I'll say it. But I'm a goldlewis hater. Right? I'm a goldlewis hater. Why couldn't it have been Elfelt?